So I have been thinking a little about entertainment that we have in our lives now, that we're so used to. We have newspapers, magazines, we have radio, we have television, we have cinema. So what I'm thinking is that I'm finding it hard to imagine how we even conceived of radio and television. How did we get the idea that we could have mass communication with people? How did we get the idea? Where did the idea come from? I mean, we produced newspapers and that went to everyone, and it would seem that that was the only way to communicate with lots of people. Newspapers. How did the concept of radio come into being? How did anyone imagine that it would be possible to communicate with everybody using radio, using words? And then, of course, how did people think you could transfer images in the same way as TV? Where did the concept come from? How did anyone get the idea it would be possible? Because it's not a logical step necessarily to imagine we could transfer images and moving images like that in the same way as radio, as voices. It doesn't seem that logical necessarily that we could produce television. So somehow we conceived the television and then proceeded to actually invent it. And I don't know what genius man thought of this stuff, but it is very impressive how the concept was arrived at, because I can't see a logical link necessarily between television and radio. I don't see necessarily that anyone could conceive of moving physical images. It doesn't necessarily make sense. So it's a real genius man who thought that it would be possible and went on to produce it. So we'll look into it because it's very interesting.